Yo, what is up, YouTube? We are back for another video, and today I want to bring you my top 5 changes I want to see implemented from the PTS patch for season 8. So just the top 5 biggest changes and like things that I saw from PTS playing like the 20-30 games I played, and just looking at patch notes and just stuff that I want to see that changes. So yeah, this is it. I'm just gonna do 5 things, and yeah, some of them are gonna be huge, some of them are gonna be a lot smaller. We'll just see where it goes. Number 1, I want tank item buffs. I've talked about it a lot on my stream, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other supports have probably talked about it also, but there's just so much damage that they are adding into the game. Destol is adding extra damage if somebody builds it. Obviously, they don't have to. Gilded Arrows, extra damage. Leather Cowls, extra damage. This is a little bit of tankiness, but for the most part, there's just not enough protections, mitigations, health in the game for how much damage they keep adding. And one of the biggest things is, like, look at all these damage item increases. So we got 10 protections right here. Wingblade gets 30 prots. Witchblade gets 30 physical prots, and that just about does it for physical items. This is just provide stacks, which just makes you not tankier. It's just the passive. Jones gets a buff. Stone cutting gets a buff. Berserkers gets a buff in the opposite way, what makes it do more damage and less tankiness. This isn't really a tank item, but even though it can kind of be built, it's less protection, it's more power. Traded power now. Extra power on Celestial Legion Helm. Like, all these changes is just adding power into the game, and or pen. Like, there's just very little tankiness in the game, and you felt it last year even, that you just never felt like you could actually frontline. If you ever were out of position, you would just get insta-killed by anyone. So I just want to see a little bit of tank item love, and honestly, it could probably even use more than a little bit, but just a little bit to start out, just to see how it feels. I promise you, there's way too much damage in the game for how little tankiness you are. The next one I'll talk about is Warding Sigil, and this is just kind of an overall on the item. It is such a cool item. This one's kind of whatever. This is kind of like the part that may have to change or something, but like this, whenever you hit by an ability, gain a stack of rebuke, decreasing damage taken by 4% for 5 seconds. This is sick. This is really sick for just the game. Like, you're going to be diving late game, the mage is going to be hitting you, but the problem is you really can't get away with this in solo lane. So where are you going to be able to build this? Unless you're playing against a magical solo, you'll hardly ever be able to build this, and that's when you want this late game, is against like the magical mid. So basically, you're only building this is if you're against a magical solo and then a magical mid, and that's the only time you'll get actual good use out of this. But if you're playing against a warrior, you won't be able to get this passive, and I think that's a little limiting, because this is really sick, but it's just so limited. And then this is another one that's pretty sick, but it's just, like, again, limited. It's supposed to give you like diving potential, but you have to be laning against a solo laner that's magical. But what if you're laning against a physical? You won't be able to do this even if you want this passive late game. You could try just skipping it all together and just building this late game. Same with this one, but like just not having a starter item early will just be really hard to lane against. The next one is about War Flag, and I love that they're adding extra things to do in support. Like Benevolence, I think, is decent. I think maybe a slight gold decrease, maybe 700, 650, just so you can get an extra pot, because Sentinel's Gift is just so darn cheap. It's gonna be really hard not going Sentinels. But War Flag, the stats on it are really good, but the problem is it has no gold edition anywhere. You're not getting it from last hits, you're not getting it from literally anything, and I just want them to add something that'll allow you to get a little extra gold. It could be anything. It could be 1.5 times gold for kills and assists on gods. Just something that you're not gonna fall super far behind on gold, because this one you're getting gold MP5, this one you're getting just extra splitting. This one up here, this one you're just getting extra splitting. So I just want to see a little extra gold addition into War Flag, and then I think it could be built, because it's a pretty strong item, and it'll do a lot in team fights too. I like both of the upgrades. Next is about Janus. I want to see a Janus revert on the Janus rework. I don't like any of these changes. None of these changes are what I want to see from Janus. This just makes Janus easier, and you don't play Janus because he's easy. This is, I mean, this is whatever, but like this just makes Janus easier, and it just makes it like frustrating to play now. This one also, like, maybe for the lower level players it's nothing like juking a Janus, but like for high level players, there's a lot of times you would step up and try to juke that way, and I hate that. Now that you won't be able to do that, you literally have to just give him this giant like 3 raw 2s that are just like impossible to, like, you just have to give him pressure. You can't like walk up anymore. And then this one's just, I don't know, I guess it's just a nerf his ult since they're buffing these two, but like all three of these changes I just didn't like, and I didn't like even when I read them. And then the last one is another one that is just too much damage in the game. I don't even know where it is. Right there. Magical pen to Rod it to Hootie. This item, I'm pretty sure will be autobot almost every game in season 8 if it keeps the pen. It's basically like the old Rod where it was just always 25% extra power, like you just got 25 extra power. Now there's 10% pen on top of the extra power when they're low, on top of it being the highest power damage item in the game. Like solos are just going to be building this item now. Guardians who are going to be wanting 1 power item are going to be building this. Like this item is just so insane now. I just didn't like this extra pen. I just felt it was unneeded. The item was already pretty balanced, and I just didn't like that one. So yeah, that's the patch notes. That's what I think. That's what the changes I think are the most needed for this patch. If you guys liked it, leave a like, comment what you think. If you're not subbed yet, please sub. I got a lot of videos coming up for season 8. I want to be your guys' source for support material, so you just have like a one-stop shop for builds, tier lists, guides. I hope it's competitive too. I've got a couple competitive videos out to help you learn how to get into comp and like just learn how like team-based comp-based fights and stuff happen. So yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night.